All right. Good day, everybody, and welcome to LWN Headline Hits with LW. Today is Thursday, January 27th, 2022. Let's just jump right into the headlines. Okay, so the first headline today is going to be Beijing Nancy. It sounds like she may have a new nickname. Nancy shifted her China stance as her family scored Beijing deals. The House Speaker Nancy Pelosi softened her previous criticism of China's communist regime as her husband and son both scored big business deals in China. So this is all coming out of the book Red Handed. The author is Peter Schweitzer. So I've been telling you guys about this book, and he's starting to drop all kinds of things here. And now he's tying the Pelosi family to China and big deals and how it's a national security risk. Plus, it's insider trading and all kinds of other things. So stay tuned because LeBron James and the rest of them are all going to be tied to it as well. So here you go, Nancy. You're back in the news. All right, let's hit the next headline here, which is Disney and Minnie Mouse. Breaking news. Breaking news. Minnie Mouse to shed iconic dress for a pantsuit for Women's History Month. So congratulations to the women coming up for Women's History Month. It's awesome. Unfortunately, the photo that's put next to Minnie Mouse is a photo of Hillary in a pumpkin colored looking pantsuit, which absolutely looks horrible on her. And I am hopeful that Disney is not going to put that on Minnie Mouse because that would look horrible. So the Disney character Minnie Mouse will be shedding her iconic polka dotted dress for a pantsuit in honor of Women's History Month. The designer from Great Britain, 50-year-old, is her name is Stella McCartney. She said that what she is designing for Minnie Mouse is the very first pantsuit, and it will be gorgeous. A blue pantsuit with black polka dots. Try to say that 4 or 5 times really fast. You want to talk about a tongue twister? Why is this important? It's not. All right, let's move on to the next headline. Let's talk about Schumer and old pudding in his pants, Joe Biden's Supreme Court nominee, because this is important. Remember that during the Trump administration, he was able to nominate at least 2 justices on the Supreme Court. We thought they were going to be very helpful to us, and I'm questioning that at this point. So let's listen to what Joe wants to do here. So Joe Biden, Supreme Court nominee to receive a prompt hearing. Chuck Schumer, a Democrat from New York, senator, on Wednesday stated that Joe Biden, Supreme Court nominee to replace Justice Stephen Breyer, will receive a prompt and deliberate Senate hearing. President Joe Biden's nominee will receive prompt hearing in the Senate Judicial Committee and will be considered and confirmed by the full United States Senate with all of the deliberate speed needed. So it goes on to say that during the 2020 presidential campaign, Biden promised to appoint a black woman to the court. I am looking forward to making sure that there is a black woman on the Supreme Court to make sure we, in fact, get every representation, end quote, says Joe Biden. But he's going to run into problems with this. All right. And I'll talk about that in another headline, but it's concerning to me, the way that these people pick their Supreme Court justices. So it's also Biden will select a nominee for in the upcoming weeks to present to the Senate's Judicial Committee, chaired by Dick Durbin, a Democrat from Illinois. So he's pushing it. He's pushing it hard. Why is he pushing it? Well, we'll get into it here in a minute. All right, let's hit the next headline. Let's talk about old Ducey again, and the insult that Biden made to Ducey. Politico insulting Peter Ducey, quote, can save Biden's presidency, end quote. How is that going to happen? Well, some establishment media outlets, which we like to call the lamestream media, are celebrating President Joe Biden's horrific attack on Fox News Peter Doocy this week, calling for more quote trash talk end quote after describing then President Donald Trump as a threat to the press freedom every time he criticizes a journalist. They go on further to say that in Politico published an essay on Thursday titled How Trash Talk Can Save Biden's Presidency. You can't make this stuff up. It suggests that far from being condemnable, Biden's attack on Ducey could restore the vitality of his flagging presidency. When he made the comment late last week about what a stupid son of a bitch the reporter was, his words, not mine, folks. Sorry. The president muttered as he thought to himself, even as the hot mic assured that he was getting caught on the hot mic. And he's been caught. He's been caught multiple times hot mic'd here. All right. So he says in this article that Biden's long history of bullying journalists and criticisms to thus transformed into a winning and authentic style, whereas Trump's was defecating and just being ridiculous on the false news narrative. I can't make this stuff up. It's right here. So they're encouraging. I think what they're trying to do is they're going to try to pull one of the plays out of Trump's playbook when he goes out every time and he calls the news out for what the news is, fake news, fake news. So now they're going to encourage Biden to do the same thing, but he's going to go after the right side. He's going to go after conservative news outlets. He's going to do more than just call them fake news. He's going to personally attack them, and that's their new game plan. So let's see how that plays out for him. All right, here's where Joe Biden is going to run into some problems for his nominee for the Supreme Court. Joe Manchin says no rubber stamp for Biden's Supreme Court nominee. So they're going to need all of the Democrats in the Senate to help get this nominee passed and on to Congress. So Senator Joe Manchin, a Democrat from West Virginia, on Wednesday said he will not rubber stamp Joe Biden's Supreme Court nominee to replace Justice Stephen Breyer. I take my constitutional responsibility to advise and consent on a nominee to the Supreme Court very seriously, end quote, Joe Manchin. I quote, look forward to meeting with and evaluating the qualifications of the President Joe Biden's nominee to fill the Supreme Court vacancy. Manchin's statement follows White House press secretary circle back confirmation Joe Biden intends to nominate a black woman to the Supreme Court. Okay, now I have no problem. With a man, with a woman being in the Supreme Court. I have no problem with whatever ethnicity they are, black, white, green, blue. I don't care. But I think that they should be nominated and confirmed on merit, on track record, on morals and values, and just qualifications in general, and not just because of skin color. What happens? What are we called when we look at somebody and only do something because of their skin color? Isn't that called racism? Don't we get called racist all the time if we say anything about somebody's skin color? But this guy goes out and publicly says, I am going to pick a black woman to the Supreme Court. I don't think you can get much more racist than that. Honestly, let's not look at her qualifications. Let's just pick her because of her color and her gender. That's racism. Sorry, that's how I look at it. All right, moving on. Let's talk about England, because let me tell you, England is partying it up right now. Beers for everybody. Freedom. England's Plan B restrictions in today. So-called Plan B restrictions have ended in England, with widespread diaper mandates being officially scrapped and thrown in File 13. They are done with it starting today. England has now officially lifted Plan B, with widespread diaper mandates no longer in effect for today. The United Kingdom, home nation, has fully escaped the sickness measures, however, moving to so-called Plan A measures, which include allowing vigorous and required sickness certs on a voluntary basis. So they're still wanting people to follow along with some of this, but now they're saying Plan A is going to be voluntary basis, whether that means you take a vacation or you wear a diaper on your face. But listen, I'm okay with that. Your body, your choice. If you want to wear a diaper on your face, wear a diaper on your face. If you want to take a vacation, your body, your choice, take it. Just don't try to force any of that crap on me. All right. Next headline. Let's talk about the Republicans versus the Democrats in the upcoming election. Poll. State Republicans lead Democrats by 6 points on generic ballot. Voters in critical battleground states, and let me say that again, voters in critical battleground states, which is where the fight still is from 2020. Those battleground states determined who was in the White House. Now, who is in the White House? Is that who won those states? That's still up for, I wouldn't say debate. That's still up for uh, if there is proof, if there's facts for that to come out to the forefront to see who really won those states. Now, could it have been Biden? I don't know. Could it have been Mr. T? I think it's possible. So let's read a little further here. Voters in critical battleground states favor Republicans at the state legislature level as way to counter President Joe Biden's radical left agenda, according to a poll. Republican state legislative candidates lead Democrats by 48 to 42%. More than half of those polled said they would prefer a Republican candidate who would act as a check and balance on President Joe Biden and his Democratic policies. Just 40% of the respondents would rather have a pro-Biden Democrat candidate in office. So it goes on into more numbers like usual. What I'm trying to explain to you guys here is there is a movement, and we are part of that movement, and people are waking up and changes are happening. I know a lot of people say that nothing's happening, but I'm seeing a lot of happenings. I'm reading it. I'm researching it. When everybody says we can't have an election in 2022 until we fix 2020, I believe it is happening and it is getting corrected. I told you guys, I reported 36 states that are now going to require voter ID for this next election. That is progress. Is it exactly everything we want? Not yet, but it's getting there. So we got to keep holding these people accountable and keep pushing this forward. All right, last headline of the day. U.S. Navy begins discharging sailors who refuse the sickness vacation. The U.S. Navy announced Wednesday it has discharged 45 service members who refuse to accept in coalition with the sickness vacation. The personnel were released after failing to meet the November 28th deadline set by the Pentagon for the vacation. 23 active duty sailors were among those to be let go. UPI reports the Navy said in a statement to those discharged, 22 were considered entry level separations as they occurred during the initial training periods within the first 180 days of active service. So we're losing part of our military here, folks, over these mandates. And I know the Supreme Court has ruled on it's unconstitutional. The OSHA has also stepped away and thrown the mandates in file 13 in the dumpster fire that is called the Biden administration. But we are still in restrictions and tyranny for our military and for a lot of our medical personnel. So we've got to continue the prayer, we got to continue the faith, and we got to continue this movement and keep pushing hard to get those people also taken off of that list so that they can live a free life and have free choice as well. All right, folks, that's it for the headline hits today. Tonight is Ladies' Night at 8 Eastern, 7 Central. Hopefully, you guys will all join us then and support the ladies of Liberty. And we've got Tammy, the Hammer Nation, Mary Kay, and Scad Warrior 2. So we will see you later this evening, 8 Eastern, 7 Central, right here on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Love y'all. Have a great day.